Not because of the product, not because of your document. Your application for RF certification in Indonesia is rejected. It can happen because the wrong company submit it. Who is actually allowed to apply for RF certification in Indonesia? This is one of the most overlooked parts of DGID certification. Not every company can be the applicant, and getting this wrong stops your application before it even starts. In this video, we break down who can be the applicant for RF certification in Indonesia and what each party needs to prepare. Based on Ministerial Regulation number 3 of 2024, Article 10, applicant for RF certification in Indonesia defined into categories. The first is business entities, and the second is non-business entities. Business entities is the local agency registered in Indonesia. Non-business entities are state agencies, international organizations, or individuals. One rule applies to both. Non-business applicant may apply only for devices used for their internal purposes, not for commercial sale. Most applicant falls under these categories. Business entities. But a business entities is a broad term. Let's break down. The first is brand holder in Indonesia. This is original manufacturer registered locally. The second is official distributor or local representative. This is a company appointed by a global brand with a valid appointment document. The third is a factory assembler. These are companies that manufacture or assemble wireless device on behalf of a brand. The fourth is local business operator. This is a company that produces devices under its own brand name. And the last is an internal user. These are companies or institutions that purchase communication devices for its own operational needs, not for sale. All of these must be local companies or business entities registered in Indonesia. Foreign manufacturer cannot apply directly. Certification is not only for commercial product. Some organizations need telecom device purely for internal use. Applicants from the state institution, international organization, or individuals must submit applicant directly to the Ministry of Communication and Digital Affairs, not through the regular OSS system. Here's something many people miss. Applicant status is checked at the very beginning of the process, before any lab testing begins. If the application status is not appropriate, the application is rejected immediately. And there's another detail that often causes problems: consistency. The applicant's name must be exactly the same across all documents, test report, letter of appointment, and the MOU. If the test report lists company A, but the letter of appointment says company B, the application is rejected. Get the applicant right from day one, and everything else built on top of it. Each applicant has different document requirements. For the detail of document requirements, you can see our latest video for the details. That's everything you need to know about applicant for RF certification in Indonesia. If you want to know everything about RF certification in the world, subscribe. I will see you in the next video.